minutes to sort that all out. Firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's taken part and accompanied this afternoon. It's been a brilliant, brilliant afternoon. What a lovely way to spend an afternoon. I'm just going to crack on. What I'm going to do is give a bit of feedback to everybody in performance order. And so we'll go through starting with Daniel, and then get to the end of everybody with their feedback, and hopefully everybody will still hear the feedback that they receive. I'll then award some rankings that have given some commendations, but only 2 people in each category get to go through to the next round. So the first category is everybody who played an instrument, be it a piano, a harp, a recorder, whatever it was, and the other one being vocalists. So let's crack on. Daniel, where are you?
I think he had to go because sorry,
fine,
no.
No problem at all. Well, if anybody sees him, could they tell him that I very much enjoyed his own composition? You may remember, those of us who were here days ago when this started, he played his own composition which he wrote when he left primary school. And I thought it was a fabulous composition. I really enjoyed, I thought what came through was both the sort of mixture of emotions that he obviously felt at that time. There was a bit of sadness within it, but sort of excitement about the future and what have you. I thought it was a lovely, lovely piece indeed. I did want a little bit more shape in the right hand of his playing. He had a little ostinato that kept coming back, and I just wanted him to sort of have a little bit more weaving in that. But it was a lovely, lovely performance, as I said. He then played Read All About It by Emily Sandé. I wanted a little bit more dynamic contrast in that. It was good, I just wanted something to happen. I just felt it was sort of safe, and I think he could have taken us a little bit more drama, perhaps, in that piece. However, I thought it was very captivating, and I've written here, what an exciting young talent. So very good. Let's clap him with those Jimmy Jefford on the clarinet. Is Jimmy here? George, you can be his representative. He started, I think, with a canzonetta. I've written dexterity with a lovely lilting feel. He made us smile and imagine the French Riviera, which I thought was a nice place to be. A good use of dynamics and impressive support and breath control. He then moved on to a very fiendish piece by Arnold. It was fast and furious, but I felt he was always in control. I felt that it never got away from him. I liked the folky feel of it. There was a little bit of sort of Hungarianness in on occasions, and it sort of, I really enjoyed his nod. He also coped very well with the time signature changes, so it was a very tricky piece indeed, and I thought he did very well. So thank you very much, Jim. Charles, hi, good to see you. You gave us Where'er You Walk by Handel. I had a lovely 10 minutes in your company. I very much enjoyed your recital. I wish it could have gone on for a little bit longer. Can I offer a couple of things? Your oo vowel, occasionally on Where'er You Walk, the oo bit, it gets a little bit swallowed. The tongue comes back just a touch, and so you get Where'er You Walk. Comes forward all the time. Where'er you, my lips are forward now. It's almost like French. So just make sure that that's there. And I think there was also a to vowel as well. So you and to, just be very careful with your tongue positioning on those occasions. And in Stars by Schoenberg, I think it was brilliant. I thought very engaging, and a very good use of the odd spoken word, kind of a bit of parlando within it. It was very well judged. Just be careful. Here's my other than the ooh thing, my one thing. You suffer from a disease which is called tenor syndrome. Now, tenor syndrome, I know you've got a lovely baritone voice. Tenor syndrome can strike any vocal part. What happens to sufferers of tenor syndrome is, if you imagine a group of tenors standing on a street corner, it will be a matter of minutes until they get into a Ness and Dormer competition. And the first one will start and go, Vincere! And they'll all go, wow, that was great. Oh, good, good. I'm going to go a semitone higher. Vincere! And then the next person goes, oh, damn it, he's gone for semitone. I'm going to go, Vincere! And then they sort of get into this little competition about how high they can sing. Tenor syndrome sufferers assume that the top note in the piece is the one that I want to hear the most. It's not always the case. I think there's one little bit in Where You Walk where you have quite a high note on the word all or something, and then it carries on, and actually the point of the sentence is further down in the range. So often what singers do is they go, I like all the sheep. And actually, sheep is the important word of that phrase. So just make sure that you're grading that journey through the text correctly. Sorry, I spent far too much time explaining that. Very good. Sam, Audley Williams. Hi, Sam, at the back up there. Very good. The Sonatine by Ravel, first and third movements. I've written lovely, light, airy touch. Just make sure that the balance between the tune at the top of the right hand, which happens, I think, in the first move from memory, make sure that the tune that's going on doesn't get swamped by the accompanying bits, the balance levels. It was 95% perfect. Just on 2 or 3 occasions, the accompaniment was a bit louder than the tune. And so we just need to make sure that we're really disciplined about making sure that the tune comes to the fore the whole time. Generally, it was very, very solid. I also, the third movement, which was the second one that you played, I thought it was a real privilege to be able to see your hands at work. It was very, very impressive to see how much work you were having to do and how well you were coping with that. I thought there was a beautiful diaphanous quality to your sound, so sort of see-through, which is lovely, and it suited the mood of the piece very well. I thought your fingers probably needed a rest by the end of the second movement there. And then you finished with I Got Rhythm. Yeah, a couple of little fluffs here and there, weren't there, I think, let's be honest. But it was a lovely sort of firework to throw at us right at the end there, and a lovely arrangement of that as well. I thought there was some great skill on show, Sam. Well done. Thank you so much. Ben here. Ben. Hi Ben, how are you? Good. Good. Thank you so much for your playing. I wanted you, in the third movement, I wanted you to take a little bit more time on occasions. I just felt sometimes you saw the notes on the page and thought to yourself, it's in whatever time signature it's in, I need to make sure that I'm banging in time the whole time. This kind of romantic music, that goes out the window. You can just sway, you can do whatever you like with it. It has so much more tenutos, flourishes, whatever it is that you want to do. Really, really play around with it. And yeah, enjoy yourself. Perhaps, I think I'd like to hear you play this again in about 5 years' time, after someone has taken your heart. and kicked it to the dogs. I just want so much more yearning, angst, grief, whatever it is from you. But
You don't have any
can't
angst and
possibly
grief
expect
in
that
it.
at this stage. That's where you're headed. I think just make it an emotional outpouring rather than I've got to play the right notes the whole time. I think in the list as well, there's a similar sort of thing. This is big repertoire, this is big, bold statement kind of music that you're playing. I applaud your skill set in order to get on with that. I just always start from what emotion is Liszt trying to elicit. If you think that piece of music didn't exist before Liszt woke up one morning in some kind of a mood. And so he thought to himself, I'm feeling this, I'm going to write a piece about that. And quite often as performers, we start by thinking, must play right notes, then begin to add in emotion. Unfortunately, it's got to be the other way around. You've got to start with, now I'll play it. That's how we run forward. Can I just say, I also thought you coped very well, as did all the pianists, with this, probably for most of them, the first time they played this particular instrument. That's a very difficult thing to come in and do, for it to shift instruments. If you play the harp, you brought your harp with you, you know what that's going to do, you know how it responds to your touch. So I think you did a great job with coping with beats and the machine and your fingers. So thank you very much. Hi, good to see you. My heart skipped a beat when you started playing an unaccompanied piece, because I remember last year, at this exact moment, I slightly criticised your accompanist. I was worried for her safety and well-being, but I was delighted that she turned up in the second piece. And so lovely to see you again, madam. Just be careful. The brass is instruments. There must be a better name for this, and I'll ask Miss Roberts, one of our brass teachers, or our brass teacher here about this. I call it a false note, where you are doing some quick tonguing, some quick and sometimes I think the tongue doesn't come back quite enough, and so it's not a fluffed note, it's just what I call a dead note. So you sometimes